Ladles and jelly spoons, welcome back to Friday 5-Minute Facts, broadcasting live from Britain's first and only airborne subterranean studio. I'm Pat, and with me as always is Keith, who has just discovered what a PlayStation is.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Pat, I thought it was some sort of elaborate tea service at first. All those buttons reminded me of a proper Earl Grey brewing station.
Now, speaking of brewing, today we're diving into Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny, released in 2002 for PlayStation 2, back when Capcom still made games that didn't require a mortgage to buy all the downloadable content.
Yeah, now, Pat, I may not know much about these video games, but I do know about Destiny. You know, like this cup of tea that I am destined to drink.
Right, Keith, philosophical moments aside, Onimusha 2 follows Jubei, a samurai on a revenge quest against Nobunaga Oda and his demon army. Think Kill Bill meets Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but with better hair and more dismemberment.
Yeah, the plot involves young Jubei seeking vengeance after his village gets the full, demon treatment. Rather reminds me of the time I got the badgers into Mrs. Henderson's garden. Absolute carnage. She'll never nick me parking space at Tesco's again, that's for sure.
Now, the gameplay builds on the original's hack and slash formula. You collect souls from defeated enemies to upgrade your weapons, absorb different coloured orbs for various benefits, and occasionally transform into an Onimusha, which is basically going Super Saiyan, but with more traditional Japanese aesthetics.
Now, I'm told there are also 4 companion characters who join your quest. Sounds rather civilised, actually. Nothing beats a bit of company on a long journey. I wonder if they're better than the rest of the darts team down the Dog and Duck.
I say the game received solid reviews upon its release. IGN later listed it as the 45th best PlayStation 2 game, and it was 3rd best-selling game in Japan during 2002. That's not bad for a sequel about a bloke with anger management issues and a sword.
I must say, 45th seems oddly specific. It's like saying someone's made the 23rd best cup of tea in Lancashire. It's still good, mind you.
Now then, on to facts. And the first one is a proper corker. This game bears a striking similarity to the anime classic Ninja Scroll.
Anime, you say? Yeah, is that like those moving picture books that the young ones are always on about?
Close enough, Keith. Right, both feature a main character named Jubei, who's fighting demons for greater good. Both have Jubei ending up with a reluctant female companion who falls for him, but ultimately can't stay with him due to, circumstances. Hey, it's like an episode of EastEnders, but with more swords and fewer pubs.
Ah, they're star-crossed lovers. Rather romantic, actually. Although I suppose, it's hard to maintain a relationship when one's constantly fighting supernatural entities.
There's also a baddie in both who considers himself the greatest swordsman and insists on a fair fight. Plus the main baddie in each was once a human and now leads demon forces. I mean, it's either an homage or someone at Capcom really enjoyed their movie nights.
Yeah, speaking of movie nights, did you know that badgers walk in plantigrade manner? Yeah, it's flat-footed like humans or bears. Gives them a very distinctive lumbering look. That's rather endearing, really, although I wouldn't want to meet one in a dark alley.
Yeah, right, moving on from Keith's nature documentary moment. According to publisher Capcom, Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny has sold 2.1 million copies worldwide since its initial release.
2.1 million, you say? That's rather impressive. Although, I suppose when you consider the global population, it's still a fairly select group, like an exclusive tea society.
Now, for a 2002 game about samurais fighting demons, it's not shabby at all, especially considering people had to actually go to shops and buy physical copies. And all this digital nonsense where you own nothing and like it.
Yeah, physical copies do have their charm. I mean, you can hold them, you can display them, you can use them as a coaster in a pinch. It's very practical.
Now, Jubei's likeness in the game is based on the late Japanese movie star Masuda Yusuke, who lived from 1949 to 1989.
Now, Masuda's likeness was also used for a character called Kohigh from something called One Piece. Sounds maritime to me.
No, it's interesting how game developers back then would base characters on real actors. Nowadays, you just scan someone's face and call it a day. No artistry, no interpretation, it's just digital photocopying, isn't it?
Now, there's something to be said for artistic interpretation. I mean, it's like brewing tea. You don't just throw leaves in hot water and hope for the best, do you? Speaking of tea, though, in Tibetan culture, they make butter tea called po cha by mixing tea leaves, yak butter and salt. It's high in calories and helps people stay warm at high altitudes. It's rather practical, really.
I trust our Keith to find a way to work yak butter into a conversation about Japanese video games. But anyway, our next fact involves historical connections. Many characters in Onimusha are based on real people. The obvious ones are Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, actual historical figures. The main character, Yagyu Jubei, is based on the swordsman Yagyu Meniyoshi, founder of the Yagyu Shinkage Ryu style of swordsmanship.
Their swordsmanship school sounds rather formal, like tea ceremonies, but with more potential for injury.
Then there's Oyu, who's actually Orochi, based on Oda Orochi, Nobunaga's younger sister. She was forced into political marriage to broker alliances between clans. Medieval politics was basically Game of Thrones, but with actual consequences.
Political marriages sound dreadful. Imagine being married off to secure a trade agreement. I suppose it happened quite often back then.
Right, now before we continue, let's pause for our traditional plea for validation. If you've enjoyed our ramblings about this 22-year-old video game, do us a favour and hit the old like button. Share this video with someone who needs more obscure gaming facts in their lives, and of course subscribe, because apparently that's how we prove we're still relevant in this day and age.
Yes, do subscribe. We promise to continue providing questionable commentary and random facts about subjects I barely understand.
Jubei.
Alright, what's all this about Onimusha 2? Are we seriously discussing a game that thinks samurais and demons make good bedfellows? Late again, I see. Well, naturally, because nothing says PlayStation 2 gaming like Tibetan dairy products. Although I suppose both involve questionable life choices.
I was simply drawing parallels between cultural practices and...
Right, well, let's just cut to the chase, shall we? I mean, Onimusha 2 is basically Capcom admitting that they'd watched Ninja Scrolls and thought, we could do this, but with more button mashing. I mean, the similarities are not subtle. They're about as hidden as a neon sign in a monastery.
You sound like you've got opinions about this game.
Oh, I've got opinions. The game is trying to be all serious and atmospheric, but then you've got these over-the-top demon designs that look like someone's fever dream after a bad curry. Plus, the voice acting, I mean, it's so wooden you could build furniture with it.
Well, I think it sounds rather charming. Traditional Japanese setting, historical figures, mystical elements.
Keith, bless him, he thinks everything's charming. This is a game where you absorb souls of your enemies to make your sword shinier. It's about as charming as a tax audit. But you still enjoyed it? Of course I did. That's the thing about these early 2000 games. They're absolutely mental, but they commit to being mental. None of this modern hand-holding nonsense. Oh, you died. Try again. Oh, don't like the camera angles? Tough. It's gaming Darwinism at its finest.
That sounds rather harsh.
Harsh, Keith? This was back when games didn't apologise for being difficult. You had to earn your victories. Now everything's got difficulty sliders and optional tutorials. Where's the character building in that?
Speaking of character building, any of you fine ladles and jelly spoons out there played Onimusha 2? We'd love to hear your experiences. Did you struggle with those camera angles as our lad mentioned? Any facts we may have missed?
Drop us a line. Tell us about your favourite weapons or your least favourite boss fight. Or just rant about how games were better when they came on actual discs.
And if you have any interesting tea facts, well, I'd love to hear those as well. Although I realise that might be outside the scope of retro gaming.
Leave your comments down below. We read all of them, even Keith's suggestions for tea-themed gaming videos. It's actually not the worst idea Keith has had. Friday 5-minute facts, the history of beverage consumption in video games. I'd watch it.
Really? I was thinking more along the lines of proper brewing techniques for extended gaming sessions.
Right, before this descends into Keith's masterclass on caffeine management, let's wrap this up. Don't forget to like the video. If you enjoyed our deep dive into Onimusha 2's connections to 90s anime and historical Japanese politics, share it with someone who needs to know that video games once required actual commitment and patience.
And subscribe for more episodes episodes where we somehow managed to connect medieval Japanese history to badger walking patterns and yak butter tea. Until next time, this has been Friday 5 Minute Facts. I'm Pat, reminding you that the best games are like the best pints. They're worth the wait, even if they are a bit rough round edges. I'm Keith, and remember, whether you're battling demons or brewing tea, patience is a virtue. And I've been Kai, telling you to go and play something that doesn't treat you like a child. Your thumbs will thank you for it. Cheerio, ladles and jelly spoons. See you next week.